Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us this morning. I have my brother here, Mr. Juan Davis, with us this morning. And Juan has been a person that I've always had in my corner if I needed some suggestions, advice. We met officially, I'm going to say officially, we met when we were both working for Joliet Township government for their gun violence prevention program. But we pretty much had the same recovery friends, recovery community, and I've heard of him through several of my friends that knew him. And so when I officially met him, it was through Joliet Township government, the gun violence prevention. And I we were just talking about how that was a key moment for a lot of us that are still involved in the community, where we were able to get this foundation that God provided us to have to be able to expand to what we're doing today. And I'm just truly grateful for how we met, how we came together, and how we build this relationship, and how we continue to expand these resources to the community out there. But without further ado, I do want to introduce Mr. Juan Davis.
How you doing, Magdalena?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me on.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you at right now? What's going on?
My name's Juan Davis. I'm originally from Joliet, Illinois, born and raised. Currently, I am working for a Lifehouse Recovery Behavioral Health organization in Blue Island. I have several roles that I play here, but I'm currently an internship supervisor. I'm also a counselor, and I'm also a CRSS certified, in the process of becoming CADC certified within the next month or two. Uh, Currently, I um, have maybe 10 interns under me right now. That's coming in from Governor State, Royal University, Chicago State University, and Malcolm X College. Uh, so yeah, loving my job, loving my purpose. I also have a non-for-profit organization called FANG, which stands for Future Achievers Navigating Greatness Mentorship Program, in which I mentor young men and women through fundamentals of basketball and trying to shape them into life skills also.
Wow, that's amazing. Full plate, huh? Full
Full
plate.
plate, full plate.
I love it. I love it. That's amazing. It's awesome to just hear the things that we get to do because of putting our recovery first. So it's amazing to hear all the wonderful things you're doing. Let's start off with my first question. I always start off with, what was the moment or experience that made you decide to pursue recovery?
Well, I've been in and out of recovery most of my adult life. I started going to 12-step programs when I was maybe 20, 21 years of age. Just couldn't get it right at that time. The key pivotal moment I think was my road to Damascus moment came in 2017 when I was arrested in the state of Michigan, and that was an eye opener for me. I was 50 years old and spent most of my adult life in and out of somebody's penal institution or Department of Corrections. I always tell people I lived in the penitentiary and I visited society. And I found myself this time facing a long prison term. Uh, and I prayed to God at that moment. You know, I said, God, whenever you get me up out of this situation, I will promise I will serve you and I will never put another alcohol bottle to my lip, another a crack pipe in my mouth. I ain't snorting no dope, shooting no dope. I ain't smoking no cigarettes. I'm gonna live according to God's purpose in my life. And that was a pivotal moment for me. I decided at that time that when they arrested me, that I wasn't being arrested. I was being rescued, right, from the
Mhm.
disease of addiction. I was being rescued from my own uh, thoughts, my own behavior, my own actions. I had to own up to my my part in these situations, and I decided to wanted to do something different, and that was
Wow.
pivotal.
It's that surrender, right? That final surrender. I don't know how to live life and I need help, but I just don't know where to go, what to do. And I think that's for a lot of us, I hear that the judicial system is how God reaches out and grabs us, right? I was so
So
mad a lot of times at the judicial system. I always call my God timeouts. Those were
yeah,
my God timeouts. You know, either you're going to kill somebody, you're going to kill yourself. Let me put you in this cell for a
yeah,
little bit and see what you can do, right? So I call those my God timeouts. Wow, that's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. He wanted to get my attention. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those. He needed to get my attention this time so bad that he sent me to a foreign land, like
Mm.
in the Bible where he sent Joseph to a foreign land and he got locked up and to get his attention, right? And I feel like that was my purpose of him sending me to the state of Michigan, where I didn't know anyone, where he can sit down and I could actually build a better relationship with him. You know, because like I said, I've been trying for years and years and years to get it right, but this was one of those moments where I said, I'm gonna do whatever I have to do not to use any drugs and alcohol any longer. You know, so
Talk a little bit about that because I remember during my active addiction where I would ask God, like, why are these people leaving me?
yeah,
Right? Why are they leaving me? Why don't they love me? Why can't they just stay with me? Why do you remove? I used to blame him a lot. Why are you taking these people from me? And it's really imperative that we learn that he wants us by ourselves because he needs to improve that relationship with him. And if we are constantly searching for love in other places and other people and other things, it's never going to work, right? The relationship with him is never going to work. And so he removes people from us, people, places, and things. He removes from us, and it hurts, but it's ultimately for our good,
yeah.
right? But we don't see that at that time. It's hard to accept it at that time. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I know that he was trying to change the betterment of my life uh, by showing me different things, showing me pathways, and showing me people who didn't mean me um, no earthly good. I know he removed a lot of people in my life, and I had to take ownership of a lot of that stuff, right? Because a lot of times I would blame it on God or blame it on people for leaving me, but it was me through my inability to accept life on its own terms. I always created my own problems, right? I
Mm-hmm.
created those situations where people had to throw their hand up and surrender me, right? And tell me I can't be around you. I remember my son's mother telling me one time that Juan, I loved you, I still love you, will always love you, but because you love the drugs and the street scene so much, we could never be. She
Mm-hmm.
said I was never any competition to the
Mm-hmm.
drugs for you. I wasn't competition, and
Mm-hmm.
to look at it like that, man, I was tired of throwing God's grace and mercy back in His face. I was tired of people looking at me in a different light, right? Uh,
Yeah.
and once I came to the realization that uh, each time I chose to use drugs and alcohol, Magdalena, what I was basically doing was I was choosing that lifestyle over my whole family, right?
Yeah.
It might be the harsh reality is every time you use, you're being selfish and you're saying this is more important than the relationship I have with my kids or my mother, or how about being a human being generally? You know, throwing away my chance at having a civilized life, right? Because we lived separate lives when we were using, right? It was a society within a society, right? And if you didn't have anything for me, the drugs and alcohol, then I didn't have no reason to be around you. So I
Yeah.
wanted to become a productive member of society again. I wanted to do something to make not only myself proud, but to make God proud, make my family proud. So I had to take ownership of all that stuff, man. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and the way I did that was just start praying and meditating and start giving my chance a chance. Start realizing that wasn't nothing gonna get done by osmosis. That I had to put in some work. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and once I started putting in some work, God, of course, He was doing His part, right? So I had to do more. I had to do more. do more and say, okay, now I can do this. And the longer I started doing those things, and when practice became a way of life for me, things became easier. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't as easier for the enemy or the devil or the disease of addiction to get me any longer because I had learned a lot of coping skills so that I wouldn't go cop.
That's actually goes into my next question. Like what was the strategy or the support systems or routines that have helped you maintain your recovery day to day? You said, meditation and praying and all that. That's part of what I do as well. But in the beginning, what do you think was crucial for you to start your recovery journey?
I had to learn how to let go of the old life, right? I had to unlearn those bad habits that I had learned when I was getting high, right? They said our living conditions was reduced to the animalistic level, right? We required strange mannerisms and living skills, right? I didn't know how to live. So I had to unlearn a lot of stuff, right? And my support group was so beneficial in my life because I have a lot of family members and friends that are in recovery. They were cheering for me and rooting for me, right? I was always, like I told you, I was already grounded in recovery in the 12 step program. I've been in and out of those things for almost 30, 40 years, right? But I knew where my help lies at, and I knew that it worked. If I just gave it a chance, I knew that once I prayed out to God and really believed in my prayers, that it would work also. So I started going to 12 step meetings. I started putting myself into the fellowship instead of just saying I'm in the fellowship. I started intertwining, building relationships in that fellowship in the church that I'm involved in. I started getting involved in the church. Instead of just going to church, I wanted to fellowship with the individuals in church. I got in, I started getting in the choir. I'm a Sunday school teacher. In the 12 step program, I do service work. I sponsor individuals. I work steps. I work traditions. I try to feed off the newcomers and give them information. So I started doing a lot of stuff that I didn't do in the beginning. Started listening to a lot of individuals who had uh, traveled the path that I was trying to go down. Right. Started thinking that I was start thinking that I was not the smartest person that I knew. Right. I had to learn some stuff from other people. Right. So my sponsor and my sponsee family, they started encouraging me and giving me all types of hope. Started listening to the pastor when he was preaching. Started doing a lot of stuff that I didn't do in the beginning, right? I was practicing some honesty. I was open minded to a lot of things, right? And I was willing to go that extra mile, right? I remember praying when I was incarcerated, saying I would do anything. I would work and do anything, God, if you get me out of the situation. So when He finally opened the doors up for me, and that was a blessing in itself because I was sentenced to 10 years in the Department of Correction in Michigan for 2 ecstasy pills, and ultimately I won it on appeal after being there almost 2 years, and the maximum they could have given me was 2 years. So God sent an angel to me in the face of another inmate uh, who's a jailhouse lawyer who wrote up a appeal for me, and ultimately I was able to win that appeal. And instead of doing that whole 10 years, I only did 2 years, and so my prayers was being answered while I was incarcerated, and I tried to hold up to the deal when I got out, and he put me in a. My first job was at a slaughterhouse. I'm talking about it was the smell is very distinguishing. It's the smell you never smelled before of animal carcasses and fat and tissue and stuff like that. So I did that job there because I had told God I would do anything if He let me out. He got me out. So now I'm working at this place and I made the best of it. Right. I worked there for 2 years, man. And within those 2 years, I'm talking about going that extra mile, doing anything that you're supposed to be doing. I was catching Ubers and lifts to work. I was
Mm-hmm.
I bought a bicycle that I was riding to work because I didn't want to get behind the wheel no more, Max, because I had already been to prison 3 times for driving on revoked license. So if I was going to do everything right, if was going to ever recover, I had to start from the basics and start doing things right. So I worked there for 2 years, man, and was able to get my driver's license back, get a car, get a vehicle, and then God told me He was ready for me to another assignment after those 2 years, right? So I went on a path, and I worked in the warehouse industry for quite some time, a couple of years there. And each step of the being there, he was right there with me because I went into that warehouse not knowing how to drive a forklift truck. I couldn't drive a sit down forklift truck out of fear because I thought I would crash because I'm blind in one eye. And I always
Mm,
had that fear for years that I can't drive a forklift truck. But he gave me the courage to go on YouTube and YouTube on how to drive a forklift truck. And I passed that forklift test and got that job. And within 2 years, I was training individuals who came in to drive forklift trucks. Ultimately, I was able to drive everything in there with it that had a motor in it. Right, a person who doubted himself for many years, God gave me the courage to do those things, and then He uh, had me do another assignment through township where you and I worked at through the Peace Over Violence violence prevention program. He moved me to that industry, and I wasn't. Uh, uh, I don't know if I wanted to. I didn't want to leave. I was reluctant. The guy kept sending angels to me in the form of Jerron neighbors. He kept
mhm.
encouraging me, Juan, we need you. Come down here. This is right up your alley. You know what I'm saying? You can work with the uh, community. You can work with people in recovery. And I went to that job and got that job. Uh, each step of the way, God has always been there for me. So and now I'm here doing what I love doing, working with incarcerated individuals and people dealing with uh, uh, substance abuse and mental illness.
I think that's the hard work, right? You just said what you just said right now is just the hard work and the steps, not only the steps that we read on the wall and not only the steps that we incorporate into our lives, but the steps that we physically have to take to be able to pursue what we want in recovery. And you just said it right there so perfectly. Like it wasn't easy, it was hard, but the courage that God gave me allowed me to continue to go. And I see people that give up because they feel that they're not getting the results fast enough, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And and it doesn't it doesn't take a few months or we want that instant gratification. We want it now. We
Peace.
want it done now. But this is just to give people the encouragement that it's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard, but it's doable, and it's going to take some time. We just got to be patient with ourselves. That's patience is key right here.
Yeah,
I,
absolutely.
I love how
Absolutely.
you said that.
Absolutely.
How has recovery changed your relationships, work, or sense of purpose? You kind of touched on that already, but tell me how you feel today in regards to work and your sense of purpose.
I'm grateful for recovery. Recovery has given me a life worth living. Recovery has given me relationships way beyond I could have imagined. You know what I'm saying? If I would have wrote down a list of things that I wanted out of recovery in the beginning, I would have shortchanged myself. It's given me so much more than I can actually imagine. I've got better relationships not only with my kids and my family members and my aunts and uncles, brothers and sisters, nieces, nephews. I got built relationships with people in the community. I've built relationships with yourself. I've built relationships that I never thought I could imagine having relationships with congressmen and people in House of Representatives and things of that nature. I do a lot of stuff in the community with individuals who I never thought I would be uh, having relationships with. I took a class one time and I was in this forum with nothing but police officers and detectives and judges and lawyers, and I was the only. It seemed like I was the only one there that was a convict, right? And I felt right in place with them at that time, right? Because God had removed all the stigmas out from my mind, right? And I knew I was right where I was supposed to be at. You know, I've built a lot of relationships that I never thought I would have, man. But the most important relationship that I think I've developed is with the God of my understanding.
Yeah.
God has really been with me through this whole uh, ordeal, through this whole situation. I know His voice today. I know when He's talking to me opposed to the enemy. I trust in His words, and I try to live as righteous as possible. So my relationships have gotten a whole lot better since I've been in recovery, and it's basically because of God and other uh, things in my life has brought me to the forefront of my life.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the most important relationship, right? The one with God. I always tell the women that I sponsor, like, look, I know it may not sound doable or right. I think even us as women, we always, want our children's relationship to be better, right? Especially when we got little ones. Like, I remember early in recovery, like, I need to do this because I gotta take care of my daughter. She was a year and a half at that time. I gotta take care of her. I gotta take care of her. But then God told me, yeah, well, you need to have our relationship first. Because if we don't have a relationship, you're not gonna have anything for your daughter. Your
Hmm.
daughter's not gonna be there. You're not gonna have anything. And so I had to understand that I have to put God above my kids, above anybody. Like he comes first. And as long as I do that, everything else will fall into place. And it
Yeah,
has so
yeah,
far, right? He's never failed me. He's never left me or never forsaken me or left me. He's always
definitely.
been there. So I just gotta always remind myself that okay, I trust him, I have faith in him, and he will get me through this because he has before.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely, most definitely, Magdalena. I believe wholeheartedly that once you build that solid spiritual foundation of recovery, and starting with the head of your life as being God, you can't go wrong, right? You can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Your lower self won't have opportunity to get to your higher self because you have a higher power. You have God on your side.
Hmm. That's right.
Yeah.
What advice or message would you give someone just beginning their recovery journey?
Well, I would tell them don't put too much on your plate, right? Don't overload yourself. Just keep it simple. Uh, Try not to dwell on all the negative things that you've done in your past. Right, look past those things. Don't be so put so much pressure on yourself. Like they say, keep it simple, stupid. Just keep it simple because simplicity is the key to recovery. Right, keeping it real simple. Right, we're talking about the honesty, open mindedness, and willingness. It says that none of us came in this process brimming with honesty, open mindedness, and willingness, right? And some of us still ain't brimming with it, right? So just
Hmm.
keep it simple. You know what I'm saying? Do the basics, uh, take suggestions, and follow some direction, right? Take some suggestions, follow some directions, keep your mind open to new ideas, and realize that you don't have all the answers. Your best thinking got you in the seat where you at, in the position where you at. So you need to now learn how to lean on somebody else's understanding also, instead of leaning on your understanding. Um, the basics meaning, whatever spiritual foundation that you want in your life, whatever recovery model that you want. There's a lot of different ways that you can recover, right? There's a lot of different recovery organizations, a lot of different recovery models. We have countless of them here. I'm not giving you one way or another, but you have to get in and find out which one is best for you, right? And when you get in and find out which is best for you, get in it. Don't be around it, right? Because I've been around 12-step meetings for majority of my life until this time. I'm in it to win it. Right? You
Mm-hmm.
have to buy into it. Buy into whatever program you deem is possible for you to recover. You buy into it, meaning get involved, right? The same way you got involved when you were getting high, get involved. And I'm not saying you have to go to every meeting, you have to stretch yourself to everything you have to do, because I don't want you to chase after this as you chased after your addiction, because that won't leave you time with your family, right? So you have to get in and monetize your time, and just keep prayer and meditation first, right? Along with those basics, and you'll succeed, right? Get somebody that you're trying to follow their footsteps. Get somebody that has led the way, that's been down the road you've been down, right?
Mhm.
They can best understand you and help you in your recovery, right? Because we all need somebody to help us in our recovery.
Yeah.
So that's what I suggest for a newcomer that's trying to get their life together today. Keep it simple.
That is probably one of the key points of recovery, keeping it simple. We try to overcomplicate what's going on and forget that we just have to deal with what's in front of us right now, this moment, this minute, not tomorrow, not yesterday, just right now. And as long as we do the next right thing right now, I think we should be okay. And when we don't know what the next right thing is, call someone.
Yeah,
Call someone in recovery that's been, like you said, that's been doing it before you to get some suggestions.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Honestly,
Absolutely. Wow. With that being said, I this is such a great conversation. We can go on and on and on. I could sit here and talk to Juan forever. We have again similar ways that we got here, but we're grateful that we get to do this and be bring hope to those who are still out there struggling, to let you guys know that hey, it is possible and it is here. So just come on this road with us, this amazing journey that's called recovery. So, well,
best best show on earth. Give you an instant pay raise instantly.
that that's it. Yeah, absolutely.
Instant pay raise.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Juan. I really appreciate you. We'll definitely keep in touch. We're always keeping in touch, doing stuff together in the community. I'm sure I'm going to bump into you soon, especially with it being summer. But I do want to thank you for your time, your dedication to the community, the recovery that you have to be able to give to hope to others. And I will see you soon.
Thank you, Magdalena. I appreciate your time. I also want to plug in my new book, Get Up. I'm not done with you yet. I have them for sale personally myself, and also they can go on to Barnes and Nobles and type in my name, Juan Davis, and the book should come up, and you can purchase it there, or you can type in "Get Up." I'm not done with you yet at Barnes and Nobles. So
Awesome. Sounds
thank
good. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
you. You have a better one.
Thanks.
Bye bye.
Bye.